Hello, welcome. You're in the right place if you're looking for Astro Insights Live, and we will start this show here in just a minute. I want to double check and make sure all of our captions and our chat's working. This software makes me type in everything again. It's Gemini season. Doing things
Gemini
twice.
season, doing things twice.
I thought I already did this, and I did this, but it's Gemini season, so be prepared to do things twice. That's my Gemini season advice.
And just double check your work, okay? Like, really.
Oh, I personally don't subscribe to that. I'm that person that's like, oh, if I check it, then I'm gonna second guess myself and put the wrong answer in there.
Oh,
Anyway.
right. Yeah, definitely. With the testing, if you know that you gave the right answers on the first try, there's no reason to go back.
Right. Rose.
Ooh, I got a cup full of love.
Ooh. I am just updating the things. When people do get in this chat, they will know what the heck is going on.
But to tell the truth, the new moon in Gemini is not until Monday, but I am going to mention that today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's not this week, it's next week, but it's next week. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I think that I'm just going to go ahead and introduce us in and get the show started. Okay, Mel?
Okay.
Hello. Welcome to Astro Insights Live with the Roses. My name is Jennifer Rose, and above me here is my sweet wife, Mel Rose. Mel Rose is an astrologer and a tarot card reader. I am a intuitive astrologer and tarot card reader, and just put amateur on all of that for me. Always learning, always growing. So anyway, thank you so much for joining our Astro Insights Live today. First order of business is, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out a lot. We're at 770, 780 people, and we need to get to 1,000 so we can keep sharing this information with you as we grow and learn. We want you to grow and learn with us. And I just think it'll be magical if we can all do that together. So your support here is great. We appreciate you, and share with your friends. So we're going to get started. And what happens here at Astro Insights Live is we do a quick recap of some stuff last week, and then Mel is going to go through the astrology transits and what's important for next week. And I might interrupt a little bit, but at the end of the broadcast, we will do a tarot card reading to kind of show us what the energies are for next week. So from here, I'm going to turn it over to my sweet, intelligent, wonderful wife, Mel Rose, to talk about the astrology.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I am Melanie Rose, your regular current astrologer. Jennifer, I would really argue that you are not an amateur intuitive. You've been an intuitive person your whole life.
It's true. I've been intuitive my whole life, just like everyone else. I'm just amateur at knowing the transits and things.
Oh, yeah. We're all somewhere on that path, right?
Right.
Yes. So welcome back to Astrology Insights. Is that what this is? This is Astrology Insights for the week starting tomorrow, Monday 19th. But, we're going to start today, of course, on May 18th. It is Sunday. And we're going to talk about the week so far, just a little bit, so that we can catch up with where we are, where we begin the week. Okay. Now we begin the week with the sun in Taurus, and it's going to move on into Gemini on Tuesday. But right now the sun is in Taurus. Right now the moon is in Aquarius. earth and air, and Taurus is very practical. It's very grounded. It's about what we need to feel like we have a good foundation under our feet, what we need to feel comfortable and well supported, and so that's what our sun, our outer life focus, our work, social, and civic life focus has been about for the past month. And then for a couple of days out of every month, the moon is in Aquarius. I love the moon in Aquarius because I have a moon in Aquarius in my own chart. But the moon in Aquarius is really all about social cohesion. It's all about, reaching out to your allies and your cohorts and the people who are working on the things that you're working on, or who are invested in the things that you're invested in. Okay, so that we can work together to be sort of the rising tide that lifts all boats. We want to, the Aquarian impulse is to gather with our communities and make things better for everyone. So that's how we're coming into the week. Yesterday, no, it wasn't yesterday. Yes, yesterday, Saturday, was what the astrologers what the gurus on YouTube call the most surprising day of the year, or the most exciting day of the year. And that
Right.
was Sun conjunct Uranus. Okay, so the Sun and Uranus conjunct once a year. Uranus has been in Taurus for a long time. I think this might be the last Sun conjunct Uranus we get in Taurus, and that's going to be for quite a long time. So I expect it to be momentous. Uranus is in the final degrees now of Taurus. I expect big surprises. We've had a couple of surprises come up already this week, right? What did we have in the news?
Oh gosh, the surprises. The now what they're calling a terrorist bombing of an IVF clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, in California, in Palm Springs, California. And then, of course, the Mexican Navy ship that hit the Brooklyn Bridge,
Yeah.
unfortunately killing a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've been having tornadoes. We're having severe weather. So I didn't really look to see what was going on last
Yeah.
night with that. But yeah, we've had some tornadoes with over 20 deaths from those. So
Yeah.
there's definitely some Pluto aspect happening there too.
Oh, well, definitely, we are still in the Mars, we're still in the Mars Pluto opposition, okay, and we're still dealing with the vibrations from that Mars Pluto opposition, which brings out fights, which brings out conflicts, which brings out explosive behavior in people, aggressive behavior in people. So we want to really be looking out for that. That is part of the vibration that we're in coming into this new week. But today we have a beautiful aspect that comes up. It's Jupiter sextile Chiron. And these are two sort of, like, Jupiter connects us with the rest of the world. It wants us to have a bigger, better experience of our lives. And Chiron is about those wounds that we keep trying to heal. So to have them in this cooperative aspect today just says that, to me, that we can begin to sort of expand our healing. Jupiter being in Gemini, it's expanding your healing by sharing it with other people. Okay, share what you're struggling with other people, but also share what you've healed from, share what you've learned with other people, so that your healing can expand, your healing can grow, and their healing can grow as well. So I think that's a beautiful vibe, and that's going to be here for a whole month. So while we are dealing with the conflict of the Mars opposite Pluto and all the explosions in the world and all the aggression and all of the, like, literal stuff just being turned inside out, we also have this vibration that says we really want to heal, and we really have an opportunity to grow healing in the world. So hopefully these, we can find the balance between these two energies. You
I
see
did have
anything
something to
like that?
say, but I
Huh?
forgot. I said I did have something to say, but I forgot it. I was waiting
Oh,
patiently, but I
I'm
don't remember it. It's okay.
sorry.
It's all
Should we go back?
um, yeah, tell me what that aspect really quickly. It was really about the aspect there.
Jupiter and Chiron aspect?
Yes, maybe so. Gosh, it really made me think of something, but that's okay. We'll just go on. I know we're
Okay.
impressed in a lot of astrology.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
So here we are on Sunday. This is where we're at. The sun is in Taurus, the moon is in Aquarius. We've talked about all of that. We have this healing vibration that says that we can expand our healing, we can double our healing when we share it. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then, we go into Monday. Not much happening on Monday, but on Tuesday, the sun is moving into Gemini late that morning. But before it moves into Gemini, okay, because you got Saturn in the final degrees of Pisces, and then you've got like Neptune in the early degrees of Aries, right? So these planets, when they cross their boundaries, they aspect first Saturn, and then they cross the boundary, and then they aspect Neptune. So sun's going to aspect Saturn, cross over into Gemini, and then aspect Neptune. So it's like, here's the serious conversation, and here's the creative thing that we can make of it, right? And because Neptune's in Aries now, it's like got some fire behind it. It's got some like, yes, I want to go get this done. Like I have a creative vision and I need to make it happen, right? So I really love that vibration for us with the sun going into Gemini after it aspects Saturn. So sun is going to aspect Saturn on Tuesday, and it's going to say, hey, it's been nice working with you. It's a very cooperative vibration. Like we see things are still that Saturn and Pisces vibration of kind of falling apart, coming undone. And we kind of have a conversation where we're okay with it. We can let that go a little bit. And then we move on into Gemini. The sun moves out of Taurus and into Gemini, and our outer life focus becomes more about conversation and collaboration and doing things twice, saying things twice, working with our people to get things done. So I love that. I always love that air vibe. I'm mostly an air person in my chart. I always love that vibration where we can have conversations and just share our hopes and dreams and our creative impulses and see what we can make of it.
Right. This energy still reminds me a little bit of last week. And I do a recap of the current events in the astrology on Saturdays. And so yesterday I went live and I talked about some of the major headlines and the astrology associated with that. And something that's still going to be happening are people testifying and being witnesses on witness stands, like Kim Kardashian and Cassie Ventura, the Diddy trial. Like, I don't know how many people are going to be on trial there, but there are lots of trials of people speaking their truth. And I've also seen, just going through social media, going through Instagram, how that's really liberating some other people that understand where this person is coming from, understand their situation, and they're creating some really beautiful art from it. So we're healing through art. And the writing that is taking place just from these people speaking, truth to power, power to truth, all of the above. So I really think that, just that act of bravery is going to spark some healing in a way that we didn't really think that it was going to happen, but it's all kind of happening at the same time. So we're just inundated with this idea of freedom and justice, and people breaking out of prison, and the oldest plantation in Louisiana burning down. Like, yes, it feels like fucking freedom finally, right? It just feels like freedom. So that's the kind of freedom I'm looking for. Like, that Aries fire, that Sagittarius fire, that Leo fire with this air. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
All right. But so
I remember hearing about that. Or go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just go ahead.
I remember hearing about that plantation burning down, and it's like the oldest plantation in the United States still standing, or the biggest one, or something like that. And the first thing I thought was, it's about damn time. Like, why are we preserving that? So,
Right.
So yes, sun going into Gemini tomorrow. We do feel a shift happening tomorrow as well, because right before the sun, a few hours before the sun goes into Gemini, the moon goes into Pisces. So we're going to come out of this earth and air vibe and into a an air and water vibe, but more importantly, what we're doing is we're shifting into two mutable signs. And so expect things to get stirred up, expect things to be moving around, very changeable. Mutable just means subject to change, all right? And when you've got stuff in Gemini and in Pisces, that's about our words and it's about our feelings. So, we're changing our minds about stuff, and we're getting our feelings stirred up about stuff. And that's going to be the case on Wednesday as well. Thursday, then, while we're still kind of in that mode, Venus is going to make a trine to Mars. Now, Venus trine Mars, Jennifer, when you hear that, what do you think?
I think of that book, Mars and Venus. What is it? Women are from Venus and men are from Mars or something. I think, I mean, so, like there's a clash, but for me, that's you and I. I'm Libra sun and you're Aries sun. So that's the two of us. So, I mean, we're just like really attracted to, even if it feels like we quote unquote shouldn't be, or that we have all these differences, we're still just like attracted, like,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes. So in mythology, Venus and Mars are literally just like irrepressibly attracted to one another. They cannot stay away from each other. She's actually married when he comes on the scene, and she's just like they can't stay away from each other. So they are the archetypal lovers. They're sort of that yin and yang, that receptive versus assertive. And when they are in a trine situation, that's sort of a state of grace. They're being their perfect best together. So that's a little steamy. They're both in fire signs, Aries and Leo. They are the archetypal lovers. Things are very easy for them. So I'm going to say that there's a little sexually charged energy in the world coming up on Thursday, especially because that same day the moon will move on into Aries. So we're going to be feeling fired up and feeling like initiating things. Whoever we are, but especially if you have strong Venus or Mars placements, yeah, definitely things might be getting a little sweet and spicy.
I mean, that just screams Diddy. That seems
Oh yeah.
Mr. Combs. You know what I mean? Do you know,
Yeah.
is he a Scorpio sun, or how does that?
I can't
So it
remember
would be
what
interesting.
he is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at
I'm
his chart
gonna
again. Yeah.
Okay. Well, while you're talking, I'm gonna look up his chart and see. But I really think it would be interesting to see what Mars and Venus aspects are in his chart for that, because I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
some sexually charged stuff, like we
I
might
think he's
that
got like Mars and Scorpio or something. I do remember saying something like that.
he's got a sun in Scorpio, moon in Virgo. Yeah, Pluto in Virgo, Neptune in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, like me, Venus in Libra. So he doesn't really he has Chiron in Aries, but so, I really hope to think that because of that Chiron in Aries, like maybe because all this is happening, like there's going to be some healing that takes place from it. So, but I think we're going to hear some shit where that's concerned, and we're going to act up. All right.
Yes. Because on that same day, on Thursday, again, before the moon moves on into Aries, the sun is also going to aspect Neptune. So the sun has crossed into Gemini now, and it's going to aspect Neptune in Aries. Neptune in Aries, spiritual warrior vibes, very much like fighting for a cause kind of vibes. The goals we set are about making points and about squashing enemies, and we can do that creatively. Neptune is really about our connection to all of everybody, but in Aries, it's just a little bit gassed up. It's a very fiery kind of direct creativity. So.
That creativity reminds me of James Comey's creativity with his
Oh, right.
I do not agree with it. But I've seen all sorts of memes and stuff with the 8647
It was a
deal.
very fiery thing of him to do too, very
Yes.
impulsive,
Yes, yes.
behavior.
Yes, yes, and
Yes.
he's a Capricorn Sun, Scorpio Moon. So
Uh-huh.
I feel like this Scorpio full moon that we just had this week, Monday, is
Mhm.
still going to be it just feels like it's a month of Scorpio moon for
It
a
kind of
lot.
does. That
There's
one went deep. I was just like I remember one point you were like, "So, what are you working on with the Scorpio full moon?" I was like, "A bunch of stuff that I can't
Yeah,
even
you were
talk
just
about
like,
right
"Don't even ask.
now."
Don't even look at me and ask me that question. I am not telling you anything."
It's all subterranean.
That you see it right here in my eyes. Water signs have watery eyes most of
Uh-huh.
the time, we think. So anyway. But
Okay.
yes, I could see that happening there.
So, we have a little bit of a spiritual warrior vibe, and we also have Venus trining Mars. So there's that sort of state of grace in our partnerships in general, but especially in our romantic partnerships, in our intimate partnerships. Um, there's a bit of like a, you know, a truce if we've been fighting. If you're one of those people that somehow gets bogged down in that war of the sexes with your partner or your significant other, we don't have to do that right now. On Thursday, it's really gonna give us a moment to take a breath and be at ease with one another, and maybe come to some sort of accord. So I love that for us. And then Friday, the moon is in Aries, and then on Saturday, while the moon is still in Aries, the sun is going to trine to Pluto. Tell me what you think about that.
So we have a sun in Gemini trine to Pluto.
In
Um,
Aquarius.
in Aquarius, I think this is an announcement about some new kind of technology for sure, like some
Mhm.
new, maybe even some kind of new movie or theatrical something, but definitely some new technology, new phone, new something, maybe all of the above. But I feel
Mhm.
like we're going to be hit with some new stuff, and I'm welcoming it. But and maybe
Mhm.
we'll be hit by an alien. I don't know. Maybe an
Some
alien will be saying,
revelation,
"Oh,
something just comes out of the sky and
mhm.
it changes the world for us,
Yeah,
like
I
it
mean, I
occasionally
don't know."
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that because also on Saturday, so you've got that sun trying to Pluto, and then Mercury makes its conjunction to Uranus. So you remember just yesterday, Sun had its conjunction to Uranus. Now, next Saturday, Mercury will have its conjunction to Uranus. So this is a conversation about all this stuff that happened this last week, I think. Like Mercury's
Uh,
coming up behind and interpreting, or reinterpreting everything that the Sun and Uranus had to say.
Gemini style. Gosh, that's so Gemini. That's
Say it
such
twice.
Gemini. Yeah, I wanted to say, gosh, now I've lost it, but this seems like, oh, what were you just saying? I had something to say, but that Gemini just struck me real quick.
Mhm.
That we're still having a discussion about last week. Like every time you talk, I think about, the recap of last week and everything that's happened last week. And that aspect on Saturday with, is it Uranus again?
Mhm.
Like you were just
Yeah,
talking about
Mercury
the sun?
and
Okay.
Uranus. Yeah.
I mean, this weekend was full of severe weather, and I really feel like this week is full of more severe weather. Like, I think even in our forecast, and we're here in Kansas City, Missouri,
Mhm.
they're predicting like an astronomical amount of rain after we've been in a drought. So, I mean, I'm talking 3 days, 5 inches of rain or something.
Yeah.
We have a little creek back here that floods, and I start having dreams about how to plug it up, you know. So I really feel like that might be coming, and we're in like some crosshairs for some severe weather, which I feel like is just going to be a rain event, but it may be that next weekend that is again, and or like maybe even the beginning of a hurricane season. And I don't know why I'm saying that, and I don't like saying it, but it feels like if it just all of a sudden happens, then maybe it's an earthquake, maybe it's a tornado. So
Mhm.
I really feel like, to me, we should be really, really weather aware next weekend, because I know I don't know when Father's Day is coming up, but we're already celebrating all the things, the graduations and all those things. So just be mindful next weekend. My Venus and Virgo Big Daddy says, be mindful next weekend, Midwest woo style, and just watch the weather, just be extra careful in all your outings and doings, because oh gosh, I didn't see that step and needed to step down kind of stuff, I think,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said. So that's Saturday. So let me just go through really quick, okay? Tuesday, Sun aspected Saturn, and then moved on into Gemini. Thursday, Venus trine Mars, and the Sun aspected Neptune. And then Saturday, Sun aspected Pluto, and then Mercury aspected Uranus. And then late Saturday night, coming up this Saturday, Saturn moves on to Aries. And this is like the first time in maybe 360 years.
Yeah.
The Saturn
That's
is
going to come in with a bang.
Yeah.
That's going to come in with something, as all I'm saying.
Saturn in Pisces for the past 3 years has been like this lesson in how things fall apart. And remember, it started with that submarine implosion. They went too far under and went, right? And it's a terrible tragedy. Like, people lost their lives in this terrible way, but things fall apart in different ways. And we've really been shown that through weather events, through natural events, through, people messing around and finding out, and, just like through so much war and conflict over these past few years, especially. Like, it's a little bit overwhelming, to say the least. So
Yeah,
Saturn moving on into Aries is gonna hopefully like start a new era, right? In terms of our Saturnian stuff, in terms of like how we view and execute materialism and support and structure. Oh, please.
right, support and structure in a way that we're not trying to like hold water, because that's
Right.
hard. It's heavy to carry. Like,
Yes.
if it leaks, like, you just sometimes can't plug up the water enough. I laugh because my rising sign is Capricorn, Saturn, and my moon sign is Pisces, water.
Mhm.
So I, for one, welcome this change, because I'm ready to act.
Mhm.
I keep saying I'm ready to act now. I've seen some things, I've done some things, I realized some
Mhm.
things, and now it's time for me to move forward with some well-advised wisdom and moving toward a new direction with it. It's really about generational curse breaking.
Yes. Yes, it is. And we, of our generation, Chiron and Aries, are definitely about generational curse breaking. We're the new generation of the family, for sure. So Saturn moves on into Aries. It's a big deal, friends. Like, Saturn moving on into Aries doesn't happen very often. It is going to dip back into Pisces later this year. And we've talked about this already a lot this year, about how all of these planets are sort of flirting with the line between Pisces and Aries. And the reason that's especially important is because Pisces is the end of the zodiac and Aries is the beginning, and those definitions apply. So, the planets that have been through Pisces have been through a sort of an ending phase, and a reflection phase, and a dissolving phase, and a letting things go phase. And then they cross that line into Aries, and they are refreshed, and they are new, and they're ready to take on the world. We're ready to now aspire to our own versions of global domination. And, I'm definitely feeling that. Ever since Neptune went into Aries, my brain is cleared up. Like, I have Mercury in Pisces. So with Neptune and Pisces, I've just been like in a fog all these years, but I feel like my brain is clearing up. That's really nice. And having having
I
this
feel like
shift out
after
of
being together 11 years. Sorry, go
having
ahead.
this
We
shift
have
out
a
of
little
like
delay.
water and earth stuff, which is lovely, and it has, it's very important, but it's got a very passive vibration to it, which is very hard. It makes me struggle uh, into a fire and air vibration over the course of this year and the beginning of next year. That's what's going to be happening, is we're coming out of that passive into that more active vibration. And the one is not better than the other, but when you've been in one vibration for a while and you come to that next vibration, it's exciting and it's inspiring, and you really want to, it makes me want to get going. So
I know after 11 years of seeing this, I can tell that some things are kind of just breaking loose from you. And I look forward to see what you do in these next few years.
Oh, my sweet love. So let's finish it up by saying that on Sunday, Saturn, forgive me, after Saturn moves into Aries, Mercury is going to aspect Saturn. And that's really, it's a positive aspect. It is cooperative. It's a sextile. So, that's our conversations, which are still in Taurus. Talking to are they still in Taurus? I think so. Yeah. So that's our conversations, which are still in Taurus, aspecting Saturn, newly in Aries. No. Oh, that's because I missed something, guys. Okay, Saturn moves into Aries. That's where we were. The next thing that happens is that Mercury moves into Gemini. And then the next thing that happens is that Mercury aspects Saturn. So they're sextile. They're both freshly in their new signs. They move like practically together, out of that water and earth into that air and fire. That's that thing we were just talking about. And then they aspect each other in this really cooperative way. So, we're getting serious about our conversations. We definitely want to collaborate. We definitely want to take action and move forward. We want to make fresh starts at this time. And the collaboration is there, and the material support we should need is there as well.
Okay, so remind us what day and what is that?
Okay, so that's all next weekend.
Next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the aspect is what again?
It's Saturn moves into Aries, Mercury moves into Gemini, and then they cooperate with each other.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a whole lot of conversations. And when you said that, I thought First Amendment. So we're going to be seeing some conversations surrounding our First Amendment rights, maybe even at the Supreme Court level.
Yes.
Maybe. That's just a guess.
And then on Monday, not tomorrow Monday, but Monday of the next week, that's when we have the new moon in Gemini. And that's all I'm going to go ahead and say about next week, because there's not really a whole lot going on. We'll have plenty of time to talk about it next week. But this coming week is so jam-packed full of...
Yes. It really just does seem like a repeat of last week, or at least the same kind of themes, and the Saturn themes and the Mercury, we're all trying to find our voices. We're all trying to find where we can be creative and how we can lend ourselves to some creative vibe, whatever that means for you. Creativity is just like, I don't know. We're just age of Aquarius babies. Like we're just in the age of Aquarius, and we're gonna start seeing some stuff, and I'm here for it.
Yes.
It would be nice to see an alien or some, more information about that. To me, I think I've never really put much stock into it until I'm just like, well, when I see it, I'll believe it or whatever if somebody tells me, but otherwise I'm not going to be fearful.
And then the other thing that excites me is like the evidence of ancient civilizations. Like we think of the civilization we live in as being like the only one ever, and that it only goes back 10,000 years has always been kind of ridiculous, because we've been humans on the planet for over 1 million years. So I'm loving to see this evidence of like ancient cultures come back up. It's a little bit like aliens. I think there's a little overlap in those discussions between the ancient cultures and the ancient aliens.
Yes.
Okay,
Ancient
so we're moving
aliens.
on to our tarot card reading now.
Yes. What have you decided for the tarot card reading? What's the theme here so I can type it into the chat? Hello and welcome to Astro Insights Live with the Roses. If you're just now joining us, thank you so much. We have been talking about the astrology for next week. We finished off the week talking about that there's a new moon in Gemini coming up here in about 10 days or 10 days. And just how the astrology for week kind of mimics last week in a way. So looking for ways to tie in those same themes and progress. I think it'll be interesting to watch. And now we're switching over to the live tarot portion of the show. And Mel, so tell me what we're doing for our cards for today.
Okay, so thank you for giving me a minute to think about that. The sun is going into Gemini on Tuesday, and so I really want it to be about a Gemini theme. So I'm going to say, I want to talk about on 2 cards. The first card is going to be like about our collaborators, and the second part is going to be about how we collaborate. Does that make sense?
Yes, like who are our collaborators, or just
who are our
like
collaborators and how do we collaborate with them? How does that sound?
I'll just put about collaborators. I think it's a little confusing to me, but I'm also easily confused. And then card 2 is what?
How do we collaborate?
How we
Who
find
and
it
how.
out right
It's
now.
a who and how.
Oh gosh. How do we collaborate? Who and how?
Who and how.
Who how?
That's the Midwest woo for y'all right there.
We got some who how woo for you. Who how? Sounds like hoot owl. It sounds like my nephew saying who owl.
Okay, so first I'm just going to ask the cards to talk to us about who our collaborators might be, or where, like, yeah, who are they? I want to make sure I have my cards upright. I don't want to be shuffling them upside down. Who are my collaborators? Everything is my collaborator. Everything is waiting for me. We got the Magician. So, I think that, the Magician's always a reminder that you have all the tools you need at your disposal to create whatever life you want to, but it's very individualistic in that way. I also think that this is saying, who my collaborators are. They are other people who understand and realize or are working to realize that they have all the tools they need. Okay. So, sometimes we have to show people that we believe in them a little bit. Sometimes we have to share our tools a little bit so people understand how to use the ones that they have. So this is a collaborative effort, and part of that is letting people know that they have all the tools that they need. And if they need help, if they need collaboration, we have all the tools we need as well.
Yes. I'm sorry. I thought I had myself while I'm answering the chat. The Magician, as far as the collaborators, I was typing in here. The Magician, for me, is someone who has the money.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the bank or the person that wants to invest in you, or
the person who can change everything. Yes.
Yes. Like, so, I can't always find collaborators that, if I'm honest, I can't always find collaborators that share the same exact vision. And Mel can tell you, we've had some mighty fights over creative vision. We are just the exact opposite in how we do things. And I am real particular about a vision that I might have. So I would rather find somebody to help me figure out where to put that and to support me in a monetary way or with a space or something than I would with someone to tell me how to fine tune my stuff or that they want to collaborate with me and do the same thing as me. And I don't know if that makes sense, but so I would team up with someone who has some different resources, someone that I could share as myself as a resource, and then somebody who has a resource.
Right, right. So this is also speaking to the fact that it's sort of like a Three of Pentacles vibe where we all bring our own experience and expertise. And if you collaborate with other people, then you just have more experience and expertise on your side.
Right. And it's kind of like, maybe it is that I feel like I know how to use that sword and I know how to use that wand, but maybe I don't feel like I'm as great at my intuition with the cups, or maybe I'm not, so maybe you find somebody that you admire that has those missing pieces more than you feel like you have that can strengthen that. And then you
Right.
keep yourself forward.
Teamwork.
Teamwork is the dream work. And I used to say I put the I in team. I don't know. I think I'm just a Libra.
Which is like a nice version of an Aries, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's our read on who our collaborators are. And we're talking about collaborating with people who have skills and tools, who are stronger in skills and tools than we are, so that like our base of capability becomes broader the more people we collaborate with.
Absolutely. So don't count out, like, I know there are a lot of people who are afraid to ask people who have money or who contribute already to your type of art or work in your company that is the CEO or something. Like, I have been known, and I've worked for corporate entities, to just walk right into their office and be like, hey, how's it going? I work down here, and if I have a problem while I'm up there, I'm going to bring it up. Like, it would be nice if we had better, what did I say? Better vending machines. And then we had a vending machine that had fresh vending in it, fresh food vending in it, So that's such a Gemini thing, both and, talk
Yes.
about both of the things. And I think that also speaks to how Donald Trump's going to be acting. Like, his wheels are turning, his gears are grinding this Gemini season, but like you can tell, like, he's mediating, he's talking out both ends. As always, he's talking to both ends, all ends of the world and universe. Like, he's really getting it done. And so he has a long Gemini season. So buckle up and prepare yourselves. This guy's got a lot to say, and he's got a Leo rising. So he wants you to see it, experience it, feel it. It's golden, baby.
Yeah, 100%. He is in his rulership.
Right.
Okay, so the next card is about, hello, Netherlands.
Hello.
The next card is about how we're going to collaborate with these people, okay? Because again, it's about the sun going into Gemini. Gemini is kind of doing things twice, especially like when Mars is in Gemini, you got to do things twice. But thinking twice, and also that thinking twice comes with the old myth about Gemini was that one twin was half god and one twin was not, and the gods were going to elevate the twin that was half god, and the twin that was half god would not go without his human brother. He was like, no, this is my partner, this is my friend. I'm not going to be elevated without my human brother. So it is about sort of like remembering our humanity and wanting to bring ourselves whole, to our situations, and that includes, the people that we feel complete us, the people that we keep close, the people that are important to us. So, how are we going to collaborate? Two of Wands, discovery. So right now, what the vibration is very much beginning. Okay, we're very much like in that Aries. Neptune just went into Aries. Saturn just went into Aries. We've got all sorts of stuff happening on that Pisces Aries line. But what this is about is sort of imagining and discovering and looking ahead and seeing what it is that we're going to collaborate on. Okay. We do our individual bits of discovery, and then when we work together to do discovery as well. It's just about really taking in what the possibilities are, using our own best ideas, and then, trying to do some good with them.
Yes. And how are we collaborating with other people? Then maybe it is that we're sharing our vision with other people. We're actually putting it out there. A lot of us keep those things to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I always think that I have stupid, dumb ideas and I never say them out. I might even write them down. But now as you're collaborating, you're going to find somebody who actually wants to put your ideas out there, that wants to push, that has an idea or likes your idea, your plan, your business, whatever, and just amplify that. That's how we're collaborating with people, is we're just kind of letting go of the reins a little bit more and going with yet someone else, our own vision, but also somebody who understands our vision just as well as we do, to push that forward. Like movie director kind of thing, like turn in that script if you've got one, give that book to the publisher if you've got one. If you've got a show idea, give it to somebody. These people that are the magicians, these people that hold purse strings, they also read their Instagram messages. They read their emails. They are human beings. So if you think, hey, I might collaborate with someone, reach out, because they're there.
Yes.
They're
And
everywhere.
looking at this card, I see the 2 wands, and that reminds me of the Gemini sign, which is basically 2,
right?
like a Roman numeral 2. What it looks like.
Right.
So,
I would also call that the realtor card.
yes.
Okay,
And
we're
it
going
just
to
looks
find a
like
place in the world for you. This
it
is where
looks
we're
like
going to plop you down.
it looks like a gateway. It looks like you're walking through a door.
Right. I love
Maybe
that.
to embrace the whole world. I love that.
Yeah. And that's how we're collaborating. I think it's just like giving up creative control. It
Becoming
makes me think of
citizens
School
of the
Rock.
world. Like a lot of the theme that I'm seeing lately is, like we've been struggling so long with the idea of people having power over people. And, like we've tried to get away from that. We've tried to like abolish slavery and stuff like that. And still it crops up in the world. But we really are, as a humanity, I think, seeking more freedom than that. And I think that it's going to come down to having power with instead of power over. Like we're going to have to stop seeking to dominate anything and really work together.
Yes, and that just made me think of that jailbreak in New Orleans. Like, I think that they
That
put
was a
3
cooperative
guards on
effort.
administrative leave. But if I'm honest, I don't know if somebody helped, maybe. But I just think that it points to like literal holes in the system. Like they don't have enough people to work in the jail. They don't have enough people to do all the things that a jail, and nobody's owning up to that. So those 3 people that they've put on leave or whatever, they could just be scapegoats for that jail system or whatever. But there's people literally running out
through an open gate.
Yeah, just through an open gate, just running like, look, this isn't working. Like this system isn't working. And every single time anyone or something shows us that we have a loophole, that there's a crack to fill. But what I wanted to say is, let me go back. The collaboration there. So if those 3 people did help them, then to me, that's like, you can find someone who agrees with you in the strangest situations.
You can find
And in the
somebody
most
that will help you even if they don't agree with you. 100%. Yes.
Yes. And I know that is all, quote unquote wrong and everything, but we don't know the conditions in that jail. We don't know how much those jailers are being paid. I tell you, it's bad and it ain't enough ever.
What I do know specifically is that if you escape from jail, then you make things worse for yourself in terms of legality, and you're risking your life and you're risking the life of other people. So for like 10 people to jump out of jail like that, it's got to be pretty bad on the inside.
Right. Bad on the inside, and they feel like they're not they know they're not
I
going to
feel
get a
like they'll
fair
never
shake
get
in the
out.
system. Yeah, they know they're never going to get out. That I mean, like some of these people may not even committed the crimes, but the demographic. They're all Black men that escaped that jail, and it would not surprise me if people help them out. But that's the kind of collaboration we're seeking, like where finding the friendly face and then trusting that friendly face this time. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like it was before. That friendly face is not like it was before. So trust the system, trust giving, being a little bit vulnerable about yourself, especially about your creative self, because there's someone out there that already sees the path forward that you're not able to see. Like if you're creative, you should be creating. I think all of us should have personal assistants that are our spiritual rah-rah cheerleaders,
Yes.
But I think that's what
Yes.
you need. You need somebody who, knows the way and has the plan. And, it's about having that conversation. It's about, saying F it and just going for the whole thing, asking for it is what you want, telling somebody what it is that you want and seeing if they'll collaborate with you. Even someone that you think would never, ever do it. He just might shock you.
I just had a song come into my mind, and it's the song from Zelda. I think I played Zelda 3 or so, Zelda 2 or Zelda 3 way back in the way back. And dun dun da 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 da. And it makes me think of like the hero's quest and how there are all these movies about the hero's quest, by the way. And and you might have in the old days it might have been like one hero, but these days it's always a team, and it always really has been a team. Like you can't, even the biggest hero doesn't do anything alone. Even the biggest hero has to collaborate, has to share their vision, has to share somebody else's vision, and work with other people to get the job of saving the world
right
done.
Like Superman's gonna have Crypto the dog with him this time, so we gotta save the world together. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I love that they did the Crypto dog instead of what they've been doing. But yeah, this seems all superhero like. We're all superheroes.
We are everybody, like we all like to focus on what we're bad at, or we don't think we're good enough at, or we think we're like we don't have enough or we'll never be enough. But the truth of the matter is that everybody is really smart about something. Everybody is really good at something. If you haven't found the thing that you're good at, keep trying it. And really, for me, I would say, like the most outrageous thing that you think that you would like to try, you should try that, because that's really the most fulfilling thing. I put off learning about astrology for years and decades because I just didn't think anybody would take me seriously. And now I just don't care because I love astrology, and I have made a point of learning about it for myself, and I make a point of sharing it with other people because I think it's an important thing to be thinking about. So
yes, I agree. So to wrap up, what would you say, Mel? What would you say the cards are saying for?
Well, I've already tucked these cards away in my deck.
I'm sorry. Well, just tell us overall.
We had the Magician and the Two of
Right.
Wands. Here's the Magician. That's who we're collaborating with. People who know how to use their tools, and maybe people who have different skill sets slightly from us, but similar interests, so that we can have a broader base of skill and ability to address the problems that we want to address together. Okay, because that's very much part of it. And then what did we have? The Two of Wands. Oh, Mel, can't believe you put those away.
It's okay. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. What about just like?
It's okay. So with the Two of Wands, that's how we're going to collaborate, and that's really like a matter of just getting out there and discovering your vision and sharing your vision with other people. And then, it's a collaboration. So you share your vision with them, they share their vision with you. We see how those things can work together. We see how we can work together to create something bigger that helps more people.
And putting it out there into the world. So be prepared for a lot of conversations. Yay. A lot of conversations this week, right? A lot of maybe even a little bit of back and forth, having to do things twice. I said in the chat, if you're not seeing, doing things twice. So if you send a text and you didn't get a response, you're like, that's odd. Send it again. Resend an email. This is the same thing that I say for Mercury retrograde. They're kind of the same to me at times.
Yes. Double
But
check.
I love Gemini season because I love to talk, and I can talk to Gemini about any old thing, and they really know a lot. And if they don't, they'll just blow it out their butt about it, just like I will, and it'll be a nice little conversation. So Geminis, I see you, I hear you, I love to hear you. But yet it's another season of doing things twice. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of the same things going on, right? Mel does astrology here on our channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's we're gonna probably switch some things up. It might be live, it might not. I don't know. But at 7 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, she'll be doling out some astrology for the next 48 hours and the overarching astrology that's happening for the week. We do this show, Astro Insights Live, every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we do this live, one of our funner shows, or most fun shows, in my opinion. I don't know if funner is a word, but it is now. The show that I like a lot is our Tarot Showdown, where we do on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. live. And what we do is we take your yes or no questions in our chat, and we ask the cards about them. And you get a pretty decent reading, I think. We're not ever just like yes or no about something. We do some explanation about the cards, and I think that we give really good free tarot reading advice. So join us there on Thursday nights. And then I've started doing an Astro recap on Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join me for that. I talk about current events that spark my interest and some astrology. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It would really, really help our channel keep going and growing. And you can see what we learn and what we do coming up in our creative juices and Aquarius here. And Mel, thank you so much for being here and for doing this with me. I'm so grateful that you're not just my partner here, but you're my partner in life. And I do appreciate and cherish you. And all of you out there, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for being here. We'll catch you all in the next